Voltron Network.
What's good, guys? Welcome back to Talking at the Movies. I'm Eddie Santonio.
And I'm Mo.
What's happening, Mo? Back again.
Oh, we're back again for another episode. And I've got a couple of great things to discuss that I've watched. And there is some seriously exciting news this week. There is one thing I never thought we would be discussing.
Okay.
I put that right at the top of the news. So when we get there.
I see.
Yeah, I never thought that was ever going to happen.
You know what? I just watched the film. We'll get to it when we talk about what we've been watching.
Yeah.
Where, people live so much of their lives on shortwave radios trying to communicate. And it's starting to feel like doing this podcast is exactly that. We're just two guys on the shortwave radio in the post-apocalyptic world, just talking to each other. Bravo. Is anyone there? Can you hear me?
Do you not have any other Zoom conference calls and stuff with other people?
I do.
Yeah.
But it's they're just all radio conversations. That's what it is. You're communicating through the shortwave radios with them. Yeah. That's the only connection to the world now.
Apart from when the Uber driver drops off your takeaways.
I don't use Uber, man. I actually go out and get the food. Oh, yeah. It's like a scavenger hunt.
Right, so should I get into what we've been watching?
Go for it.
So, right, today I put on a film. I thought I was only going to watch a few minutes because I wanted to see what it was like. But I was so engrossed, I watched the entire damn thing. And that is Aaron Sorkin's new film, The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Yeah, I did plan on watching this, but I just didn't get the time. I couldn't squeeze it in.
Oh, yeah, that's a real shame, right? Because I don't want to overhype it, but I really, really enjoyed this film. Now, it's based on a real event from the 60s. Yeah. I'm going to imagine that it's Aaron Sorkin and it's Hollywood, so they've really embellished it, they've really Hollywoodized it, they've really romanticized it, but the core story, or the core message is still there, right? So essentially, it's about these 7 individuals who didn't know each other, who basically went to Chicago during the election that period and basically demonstrated outside the Democratic Convention Center. And what essentially happens is one event leads to another and there's a riot. And the new incoming president, Nixon, basically wants to make an example of people for doing that, right? So essentially they come up with they use this law that's never been used before, but it was basically created in the South to basically stop black people from organizing protests and organizing that kind of stuff, right? So they use this law to say that basically you've crossed state lines to cause trouble, essentially. And the whole thing is a courtroom drama. You don't actually see the riot or anything. You see it all in flashback as the courtroom is happening. But basically all of these guys are misfits, right? You've got Sacha Baron Cohen, who plays a great character. He's so far removed from Borat and Ali G. He's normal, but the whole thing about he just wants to basically upset the establishment, doesn't show proper respect to the judge, all that kind of thing. Eddie Redmayne.
Still think it's criminal that he never got to be Freddie Mercury. He should have been Freddie Mercury, man.
Yeah, he's got such range. You've got Eddie Redmayne, who literally plays a character. He could be Richie Cunningham out of the Happy Days type thing. You look at him and you're that guy just never looks the same twice, really, does he? It's a wonderful film. It's a real thought-provoking film. And what I found absolutely fascinating was in today's society, you've got people shouting about free speech because essentially they want to use it to be racist and basically spread hate. That's what you're seeing today. In this film, it was all about free speech and free ideas because they wanted to essentially spread liberalism and basically voting against the war and being anti-establishment. It is absolutely fascinating. It's almost all the same things, but in reverse of today.
That's on Netflix, isn't it? Netflix original.
That's on Netflix. Yeah, just launched yesterday. Superb film. I know we haven't had a lot of films to pick from this year, but I was seriously thinking of putting this in the top 5 of the end of the year. Yeah, I mean it's. I mean, like I said, I don't want to overhype it, but I really enjoyed it. It's what I think it's one of the. I think it's something to do with the way they've edited it and shot it. There's no real bits that are plodding along. All the actors are great. In fact, even what's his name? I forgot to mention Gordon Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, he's in it, and he plays a totally different character from what I've ever seen him play before. Proper straight-laced lawyer, that kind of stuff. Just fantastic.
To give that one a look then. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, I'll say that's. Yeah, I'll say that is probably like four guilty verdicts out of 5.
Ooh, very nice. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to check that one out. I remember vaguely always hearing about that story. Always hear the term Chicago 7, but I always forget what it applies to. So yeah, I'm gonna give that a look. Sasha being serious is never a bad thing. And Sorkin, you heard that he wants to do another social network.
Yeah, I did hear about that actually. Yeah, I completely forgot to put that on the news. Yeah, in fact, actually, that's probably one of the few things that could probably do with the sequel, right? Because when he did that original, it was a very, very different narrative for Facebook. They weren't as hated or mistrusted as they are now.
Yeah, I think he said he wants to do it focusing on like the whole. I think it was the Russian hack he wanted to focus on, all of that stuff. Yeah, so that would be, that could be cool. Hope he does it. He says he only wants to do it if Fincher directs it, which beautiful combo.
I need to go back and watch that original one actually, because some people actually say that was like one of the best films of like the last decade.
Yeah, it was a good film. Damn good film.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching it, but I don't remember like being engrossed. And maybe now, like after years have gone by, and you're now looking at it from a different vantage point, as in what Facebook has now become.
Yeah, so you can see it. You see Zuckerberg. He was never a good guy from the get-go.
Yeah,
never.
Yeah.
Damn.
And the only other thing I've watched is obviously the season premiere of Star Trek Discovery. Don't know if you got around to watching that.
I did watch that, so we'll hold that off.
Yeah, we'll hold off.
Check out the one thing I got to see besides Star Trek. A new movie. I guess like the VOD release of the week, besides whatever Netflix put out. It's called Love and Monsters.
Loving Monsters.
Love and Monsters.
Oh, Love and Monsters.
Yeah. I actually had a lot of fun with this. I liked it a lot. I guess the best comparison is Zombieland combined with Monster Hunters.
What?
Yeah, guess Capcom's Monster Hunter. Like, imagine the prequel to that, like the beginning of whatever caused the monsters to exist. That's kind of like what this is, but with a Zombieland sort of character story. It's basically about what sets it off is a meteor coming to Earth. This is back in the intro. Meteor comes to Earth, mankind does what he does best, shoots a ton of rockets, blows it up. But the radioactive debris from those nuclear rockets that they shot at the missile come raining back down to Earth, and it mutates regular animals. It doesn't affect humans, but regular animals, insects, slugs, just whatever the fuck, mutates into all these crazy monsters and destroys most of the world. So like 90% of mankind's dead. So most people living underground in bunkers. And they got this one kid. What's his actor's name? I forget his name. I should have brought it up. But he was a guy from the Maze Runner movies. And he has to go find his girlfriend. He's living in across the country. He has to go travel, but he's a coward, like the worst coward. He's basically like the character from Zombieland. This is the pussy.
So is this like an adventure comedy, or is it like straight-laced?
No, it's got that comedic
bent
to it. And very much like Zombieland. But I enjoyed it. The monsters are cool.
Oh, it's got Jessica Henwick. Yeah, I like her.
Same here.
I got a picture of her with me.
Same here. Actually, no, I didn't take one with the phone.
Yeah, I got a picture with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one who gave me with all her love when she wrote her signature out for me, her autograph.
This is the actress from Daredevil, guys. Yeah.
No, is it Daredevil? No,
Iron Fist. Iron Fist. Yeah, she was the love interest. British actress. Yeah, she's the girlfriend that he's got to try and get to. So you understand why he would do so if that's your girlfriend.
How have I not heard of this? The trailer actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, it literally just come out this week. So just come out. So it's a fun, simple. It's not like revolutionary, changing the world, but it's just
a fun film.
Yeah, nice light comedy. And who else is there? The guy from Guardians of the Galaxy and Walking Dead. Oh, his name's on the tip of my tongue. I'm getting so bad with names. To be honest, I've always been bad with names. I just usually make the effort in researching these things. Rooker, that's his name.
Rooker. Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker, yeah.
Yeah. Michael Rooker. He's one of those guys that he's been around for a long time, right? And hasn't really aged that much? Or is he starting to show it now?
I think a little bit, but I think that he never really blew up when he was young. I think he only really got things started when he was in his 40s. So
yeah, I mean, he was old to begin with, because I think the first time I remember seeing him was in Mallrats, because he's the dad.
Right. Even in Mallrats, he was a dad.
He was the dad of the girlfriend.
Wow.
Remember, he was the one who was trying to do like the game show in the he's the chocolate pretzel guy.
Mallrats is old, and even then he was a dad. That's shit. Yeah, but yeah, he does a lot lately, though, isn't it? He's popping up everywhere now, especially with James Gunn's movies.
I'm just looking at it. So he's born in 55, right? So he would have been like in his like late 30s or something by like yeah. By the time Mallrats, yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed this thoroughly. Like I said, it's not revolutionizing the wheel. With like Zombieland was a 4-star, I'll give this one a 3.5. But that's a solid 3.5. One that's like, you're chilling on a Sunday, you want something to throw on. This is that sort of movie.
I'm gonna have to check this out. I've not heard of it, and it kind of looks like it would be a good Sunday afternoon type, waste your time when it's raining type film.
Yeah, that sort of film. So nice little movie. Love and Monsters. Give it a look, guys. So let's get to it, man. Star Trek.
Star Trek Discovery. Season 3.
Episode 1. I forgot they were doing week to week.
Yeah, literally as this finished as well, they just announced officially. I mean, it's been a known secret, but they officially announced obviously season 4 has gone into production. We'll start filming in November.
It's the jewel in CBS's crown, isn't it? Ain't got nothing else going.
So this episode is season 1, season 3. That Hope Is You.
This was interesting. It's really interesting.
Very different vibe.
I like what they did here. I think this is why when I know diehard Trekkie fans have always had a hard time with Discovery. But what I've liked about Discovery is that it is trying to purposely do something a little different. Come at the whole Star Trek universe from a different bent. And this really goes different. It's like a new beginning. If they stick to this timeline, then this is a whole new beginning.
They basically said there's no going back, right? These guys are here now for good.
Yeah, so this is good. It frees them up. They're not tied to anything now. Not tied to having other characters and certain, events that have happened in the Star Trek universe.
I mean, I have been looking on various different forums, right? So there is certain ways for certain characters, like the Doctor from Voyager, could essentially still be around, because there is that episode where. In an alternate future in Voyager or whatever, they find his backup program, and he does that museum thing. So there are little things like that. But I really like this because, like how sometimes they'll do an episode and they'll go like into the future or into the past and they'll fuck things up. This is like they've done that, but there's no reset at the end of the episode. Like this is your future now. Yeah,
that's the thing. They don't have to worry about fucking things up because it doesn't affect
anything else.
The other stuff. So it's it really kind of takes Star Trek down, and Starfleet down a notch. So you have this universe which I'm more into. That's not perfect. That's very much flawed. Everything isn't law-abiding in the way that everything abides to Starfleet's rules. Because Starfleet's just a shell of itself right now.
Or pretty much gone, right? It's like the dying embers. It's no longer the big like or rather the Federation is no longer that sort of like the police of the galaxy.
Still a bit annoyed that they still have Michael being this like perfect at everything individual. Like the fact that she kicked the ass of this guy that's twice her size.
She's not like perfect, but that's a problem they've always had with Starfleet officers, right? In any show, like you've got in every single show, you had like those officers that could basically fix a shuttle when they crashed, even though they weren't engineers. They could recalibrate sensors. It's one of those things that just is an accepted thing in Star Trek.
Smarter, tougher than everybody.
And that's what makes them Starfleet officers.
Yeah, but you want to see them get knocked down a peg or two down again, man. And but apart from that, I enjoy this. It's very different. The technology in this.
So this is the thing that's gonna really worry me, right? It's essentially when they showed like the city. Remember that they got that thing up in the air. It's kind of like that looks cool, but we've been used to seeing that in the other Star Trek movies and shows and stuff, right? It's going to be, imagine they've jumped 900 plus years into the future, almost 1,000. Things have got to be drastically different technology-wise.
The fact that she was surprised that Starfleet wasn't around I think she said 950 years or something like that. Like, you really reckon it's going to last that long? Like, it's this eternal thing?
But it will still come as a shock, right? You have absolutely no idea what that's going to be like. If you jump 1,000 years from now, you have no idea.
Like, Starfleet's gone? How is that possible? That's the sort of shit the Romans thought their empire was going to last 1,000 years. Fucking Nazis thought their empire was going to last 1,000 years.
But they did have an empire that stretched across their quadrant of the galaxy. It still come as a shock. What do you think of the new guy, David Ajala, the guy who plays Booker? I thought he was actually a pretty good, likable character.
Starts getting his ass kicked, but yeah, he was an interesting character. I like that little thing of he's some. They don't really explain what he is, but he's something that can communicate with nature and
connected.
Nice woke hippy dippy type alien.
So I've literally just done a rewatch of all of Discovery, right? And I'm really glad I've done that because there's something that I've noticed that they've actually been setting up for a really long time, right? So at the beginning of season 2, they had the Star Trek shorts, and they have this this character that comes from a particular planet. I can't remember the planet, but they come back in the last 2 episodes of season 2, right? And essentially they've got technology that's unheard of, we've never heard of it before, that allows you to recharge dilithium. So on Discovery, there is now technology that allows you to essentially recharge this thing that's in short supply.
So it gives them, because they need that for warp capability.
Yeah. So basically, you power your warp drive using dilithium crystals, and they now know a way of recharging those. So essentially, you see Booker trying to find new crystals so he can power his warp drive. But they also mentioned that there seems to be other things like slipstream drive, and mentioned a whole bunch of things that obviously are new bits of technology.
So how are they actually going to balance this now? Because if Discovery isn't in this quadrant, it's in somewhere else. So they're going to have episodes where it jumps. Are we going to have, if this was Michael's episode, is the next one just going to be Discovery?
No, I've already seen the preview. So I think the next episode they do have Discovery, isn't it? And Michael's in it. Whether they actually meet up, I can't actually remember. But I'd imagine they'll meet up pretty quickly because there's only going to be 13 episodes. You can't drag that bit out for too long. And then you have seen the other trailers where they are both interacting with each other.
It's slick as ever. The effects, and it still surprises me sometimes how good this looks.
Oh yeah, it movie level looks right at $10 million. You're kind of thinking, well, if movies have to take a hit in future, you can still do a lot with a lot less.
I wonder if next season they'll still be putting in this level of money into this, given everything that's going on, or whether we're just going to get a season of people just being stranded on some desolate planet, and that's how they just save a bit of money.
Who knows? Who knows where that's going to go? But I'm thoroughly looking forward to next week's episode. One minute, what did you think of the Indian dude that's been sitting at his desk for 40 years waiting for someone to turn up?
Yeah, it's basically been a self-imposed quarantine for 40 years for a job that isn't even technically his. It don't really make sense why he would do that. There really is no sense. This thing doesn't exist. Starfleet is gone. But he's just deciding to stay here.
I think when they say it's fallen, I think from what I gather, it is still around in some
2 ships
sense.
In that quadrant.
There's 2 ships in that quadrant, so it is around. It just isn't really. It's a former shadow of itself.
But it has no authority then. If it's if it isn't en masse, and planets don't enforce its laws, then all it is, it's a gang now. They're just a gang. Starfleet's a gang in space.
Obviously, Discovery are going to turn up and resurrect the Federation. That's essentially what this is going to be, right? With their new dilithium charging technology, or their spore drive, which actually allows them to jump anywhere in the quadrant.
He's thrown his life away, Mo. This guy has thrown his life away.
That's dedication to the cause.
He should be crazy. I think that would have been a more interesting thing if he was a little bit off. You've been in isolation for 40 years. You should be a little mad.
No. I think some people like me are very, very good at handling isolation.
I don't think he has Netflix or Amazon Prime to watch, man. I like his bed, though. that thing that
Did he also have something that comes out the mirror to clean his teeth?
No, the mirror was like a thing. He might have, actually. But I remember it's like a hologram mirror. Yeah. Really weird, but I like the setup. But, man, crazy. Yeah. But I enjoyed the episode, though. It was good.
Right, should we get to the news? Oh no, trailer. Sorry.
Let's do it.
Let's whiz through these. So I thought you'd like this first one, right?
Yeah.
Blood of Zeus.
Yeah, I did see this one before. Yeah, it looks interesting. I like mythology.
Who
Greek
doesn't?
mythology is also pretty cool. It's gonna be weird watching this with like God of War still in the back of my mind, but yeah, it looks like it could be fun.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like a little bit of like Greek mythology? And the animation style for this looks fairly good. I don't know if this is actually already out.
It looks like I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah,
it looks like the DC animated movie. It's that style.
Yeah, but looking forward to that one. Right, so I'm Your Woman. Amazon Prime.
This look cool, intense.
Yeah, it looks like both really, doesn't it? Intense, cool, and not just an out and out action film. There does seem to be quite the dramatic element to it as well.
It's got the fabulous Miss Maisel chick playing the lead actress.
Yeah, I can't remember what her name is, but so essentially, from what I gather, is like her husband's a bit of a dodgy fella, and then she basically has to do a runner one day with the kids, or the kid, and then essentially comes to the realization that her husband might not actually be coming back, and she has to basically toughen up or man up rather, and basically protect herself.
Yeah, but she has got that guy that seems to be watching her back, willing to kill people to look after her. So I want to know what the deal is with him.
Probably wants to shag her.
Yeah, could be that. I'm Your Woman. I like that. That looks cool. I'm gonna check that one out.
Very, very cool. Yeah.
The next one. What the fuck, man?
Oh man, I Jesus. This, if you had told me, if you said to me, Mo, there is like a film called Jiu-Jitsu and it stars Nicolas Cage, I would have thought you're just like messing with me.
Basically, the premise of what could be like a Mortal Kombat ripoff, where aliens come to Earth to like organize. Or do they come to Earth or they take Earth people? I forget. Take them to another planet. No, they come to Earth, don't they? But basically, they try and that's it. It's a portal that leads them to
and they know about this portal as well, don't they?
And there's a martial art competition with aliens that happens every whatever amount of time. But why it's called Jiu-Jitsu, I don't know. Because Jiu-Jitsu is a specific martial art, but the tournament's called Jiu-Jitsu. What?
Is it because like some Hollywood guy looked through a dictionary and we said we need a martial art in the name of the title?
Yeah, it looks It looks like.
Do they actually do any jiu-jitsu from
not from any of what I saw? No, Jiu-Jitsu is basically.
Is it like a judo type thing?
Yeah, it is. It's like mainly grappling.
So lots of holds and like for throws and
yeah. But Tony Jaa, Thai boxer, Frank Grillo in this MMA guy. Some of the action actually looked pretty cool in the fight scenes. But then you got Nicolas Cage at the end saying, "I can fight too," and he can't fight. I don't know what the fuck.
I don't think I actually made it to the end of this trailer.
But human beings, the best martial artists in the world, fighting aliens, martial arts style.
What more could you want? It's got jiu-jitsu, it's got Nicolas Cage, it's got aliens.
Such a waste. It should be a game, man.
Get a movie of the year.
No. But speaking of game movies, we got the full Monster Hunter trailer. Is this the American one or is this the European one? Because they're very different trailers. The international trailer, very different.
I'd imagine this is probably the American one because I grabbed it off the IGN site.
Yeah. The international one is better. Still bad, but better bad.
Right, so I don't know, if there's some sort of clause that if you're making an action Capcom movie, Mila Jovovich has to be in it.
I know.
Although, to be fair, I don't mind her, right? She's really easy on the eyes.
But whenever she's in it, you know that her husband, she's only in films that her husband directs. Steven.
Is it what's his name? Wes
Steven Anderson, something like that. That guy. The guy that did the. It's the guy that did the rest. No. I don't think it's Wes. Is it Wes Anderson? Might be Wes Anderson. So many of them. But yeah, it's the same guy that did the Mortal Kombat film. So that shows you what sort of film this is going to be. And why Capcom keeps signing away their IPs to this guy to produce and direct.
It's going to bug me now. I'm just looking up the director of Monster Hunter. It's Paul W.S. Anderson.
That's it, Paul W.S.
Anderson. Yes. You know what? Actually, the trailer, I was going to say it doesn't look bad, right? It still doesn't look like a film I want to watch. Yeah, but I found the concept quite interesting, right? As in, like you're these badass army dudes, and all of a sudden, somehow you go for a portal as you do, and you end up in, I don't know, maybe
Monster
ancient
World.
Earth or somewhere else, Monster World, right? And you're suddenly like face to face with like the biggest, most terrifying beast you've ever seen, and your weapons probably don't have much effect.
That's not what the game is. What's the point on taking this IP that people love and is massively popular?
Well, they do that all the time, though, don't they?
Yeah,
Like if you look at the Street Fighter films,
doesn't work. And it doesn't work. So learn from it and stick to the fucking source material for once.
Well, I bet you they make them bang, don't they?
Oh, I don't know.
Although I wonder if films like this will actually continue to make bang.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not going to get those sort of casual wonder-ins.
Yeah. Like I just want to watch a film. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, just to get away from the wife and kids.
Yeah, like you can do the shopping, and I'm going to go to the cinema.
But there was a little bit of the whole concept of monster hunters in the game where you kill the monsters and you take bits of them to make new weapons and kill other monsters. I think there was a little bit of that in there. So, don't look great. Don't look great.
But something that does look very interesting is Jungle Land. So this is one that I hadn't heard of before, but essentially it is I guess it's is it like a Boston scene? Is it a Boston boxing movie?
It looks like Fighter with Mark Wahlberg and what's his face? Christopher something, Batman. It basically looks like that with bare knuckle boxing. Exactly the same. You've got the fighter and you have his big brother who's like his coach.
Yeah. But it's more around the fact that this guy is broke. He owes a load of money, and essentially the guy he owes money to say, instead of me killing you, why don't I put you to work? And he becomes a bare knuckle boxer.
Yeah. It did look good though, regardless of it looking
it
looks
good. Fairly interesting. In fact, it looks like it must already be out in the US because it's already got a rating of 7.5 on IMDb. Although it says the 6th of November, so this must be from festival screenings, I'd imagine. Although
I don't think there are any festivals. I was
going to say, where people are watching movies at festivals.
Must be like review.
I
wonder actual reviewers.
Unless they're digital festivals.
Maybe. But I haven't heard of any festivals.
No, I haven't, no. But the last trailer, this is another one I'd never heard of.
You still got bad hair as well.
Oh, yeah. All right, the penultimate is 9 Days.
Yeah, this is a crazy concept. Like people, what are they? Are they like in a purgatory type place, awaiting the possibility of living a new life?
So he asked the question like, am I dead? And he goes, no, or there is a response. So it does seem like
neither maybe they're dead or something.
Yeah,
but
maybe this is.
He does talk about them having a life as a new life and living.
Yeah. So maybe this is what happens to you before you're born. But I like
reincarnation.
But they're actually watching like TV or something, aren't they? Of things that are happening like on this world, on Earth.
That reminded me a little bit of. Did you ever see Being John Malkovich?
I haven't, I keep meaning. I keep thinking that's a film I should watch.
That is a film you should watch. That's an amazing film. I can't get into it without ruining the end, which I'm not going to do. But there is an element of that, of basically being able to occupy someone else's being and be a passenger through their life. And it's very much like it's connected to that.
Yeah. It does look like
very good.
The plot of this does look like one of the most original ideas I've ever seen. I can't really think of anything else that's done something like this.
Yeah, this looks good. I'm going to watch this. Any date on this? 2021 though, so it's got way away.
Yeah.
But look great.
But Eddie's pick of the week.
Shut up. This looks fun. Hey, like bad hair. A chick who self-conscious about her hair. I can't remember the whole premise of it, but basically decides to get this crazy weave from Indian hair, which is bewitched. And it seems to just take her over, some sort of haunted spirit within the hair. And is it helping her life? Is it getting her ahead? Or is it taking her down? But it looks hilarious and it looks good. I like it.
It looks so bad that it's one of those kind of films where you actually want to watch it just to see, is it actually that bad or...
But it's not bad in the badly acted.
Yeah.
That's all high top. It's just a crazy concept that makes it seem bad, but it looked good. Like I remember seeing one film years ago. It's called Teeth. And it's about this girl who finds out she's a virgin and finds out that she has teeth inside the vagina. And this is a mainstream movie, like an indie movie, but mainstream.
Right.
So she can't have sex with people because once she does, the teeth. Cut the guy's things off, even their fingers. Like whenever she tries to make love, and it has its mind of its own, and that's like a horror film, but it was good. And I enjoyed it, and this is that mad sort of premise.
Yeah, I mean it's coming out like the week before Halloween, right? So essentially there will be lots of people wanting to watch like those types of films, and it is actually billed as a comedy horror apparently. So so that might appeal to me because I do love a good comedy horror.
Yeah, I think that's the best kind sometimes, man, where it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
Some good kills, so I'm into it.
Yeah. But that's the Hulu thing, though, right? It is a film. It's not a TV. Yeah, it's a film. Runtime 1 hour 55.
So I actually enjoyed the trailers this week, man. A lot of crazy ones.
But the news is just as crazy. In fact, I'm really, really sad that Salim's not on this episode, right? Because I'm sure he would have a lot to say about this piece, the first piece of news.
Dexter coming back for a limited run, 10 episodes or something?
Limit series. So they keep using the word reboot, and I think the word reboot now means something that it didn't used to mean, but essentially it's a continuation. So it's I think now it's like if you use the word reimagining, that means it's like the same characters but reimagined differently. Whereas a reboot is potentially a continuation. I really don't understand it.
No, reboot is a reboot. You just clear the decks and you start again. You're rebooting.
Yeah. Or you're rebooting, or it's a soft reboot, and you kind of I don't get semantics. But not only is Dexter the original character coming back, but apparently the original showrunner who was responsible for the first 4 seasons.
Oh, the good ones.
The real good ones. So that really gives me hope, because that last season has left such a sour taste in my mouth.
I stopped. The last season was so bad for me. I stopped.
Oh, you haven't? You not finished it?
No, because it was terrible. It was horrible.
So you have no idea how Dexter ends?
No. Yeah, I managed to stay unspoiled all this time. So don't ruin it.
So you have no idea whether he's at large, whether he got caught, whether
maybe someone ruined it at some point, but I've completely forgotten. So I have no idea.
Do you feel like wanting to watch it now?
With this coming out, I'm hoping they're doing this to right the wrongs of how that show ended. Because I always heard that everyone hated it. I hated the last season.
Terrible ending.
So if this does right the wrongs, then I feel that it will be worth going back and finishing to see where that ended.
So this news has actually spoiled it for you, because now you know he is at least alive.
Yeah, but I figured he'd be alive. That's not too bad.
I'm actually quite excited. It's actually got me thinking maybe I would want to revisit and rewatch Dexter, because the stuff that was good was really good.
Yeah, I think I watched the first 3 seasons about a year and a half ago.
Oh, and you didn't watch the Trinity season? Season 4?
Oh, was that? No, I did get into that. I did. Yeah, Trinity did pop up. Damn, was it 4 seasons I got into?
I think Trinity season 4.
I thought that was season 3.
I actually can't remember. I'll be honest.
Yeah, but left girl.
Yeah, and they had some like pretty big like names in there as well, didn't they? Because they also had they had the chick that plays Darla from Buffy being the girlfriend. They also had Yvonne Strahovski as like a real nutcase girlfriend that he has at some point. The hot chick from Chuck.
Yeah. Oh, so many.
John Lithgow as Trinity. That's the one I remember. And then you have got like the guy who wore like the Hawaiian shirts all the time.
Yeah, the other detective. And the crazy girlfriend, the English chick that just wanted to kill people as well. Like, it was such a good show, man.
Yeah.
Why is there not a legit in real world Dexter killer in real life that just kills other serial killers? That would just be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah, not so sure about that.
Why? They deserve it. If they deserve it, it's okay.
Yeah, but it's like, if you're a serial killer and a known serial killer, surely you should already be in custody.
But that's the thing, they always get away. Or that was part of Dexter's thing, innit? He would make it so that they would get out, just so he could.
Oh yeah, he would contaminate the evidence sometimes, wouldn't he? Yeah, cool. I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, love it.
Ridley Scott, how old is he? It's like in his 80s or something, isn't he?
Yeah, he's up there, man.
Dude is working harder than like most directors half his age. He's got another film going into production.
That's what keeps him alive.
Yeah. On top of having just made a TV show and just wrapping up on another film that I can't even remember.
You know what they say, man? The moment you retire, your life expectancy just goes right down.
But this one is incredibly exciting, right? Ridley Scott is reuniting with Joaquin Phoenix. I'm about to say Johan Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix, because J-O really translates to a W, as Napoleon in a movie called Kit Bag. Now, I don't understand what Kit Bag is.
Neither do I.
I don't know whether that's a Napoleon thing, but I don't think we've really had a big budget Napoleon film.
And I'm actually surprised because he has had such a big impact on European history that I'm actually surprised he didn't. There hasn't been a Napoleon movie thus far, but this could be
cool. With Joaquin Phoenix, man, you know that's gonna be like an entertaining, brilliant, like just performance of a lifetime.
Yeah, there's a lot to do there, man, because he started wars, multiple wars, went to prison, I think twice. So much went down with him. So this could be cool. But the thing is, Ridley Scott doesn't always stick to like historical facts.
Yeah, but you don't watch a Ridley Scott movie for an education, right? You watch it for like the drama.
I think a lot of don't underestimate the amount of people that get their world history from movies nowadays.
Oh, so he's just finished a film called The Last Duel with like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and Adam Driver.
Churning them out.
Just churning them out.
Do it, man.
Young Furiosa. I know we've spoken about that before, but it is now a goer.
Yeah. I'm interested because I like the actress. Let me just bring
Anya Taylor-Joy. Oh, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Funny eyes, but I love them either way.
Yeah, I was just looking at a picture of her now. Really, that is the first thing you notice about her.
Yeah.
Also, Chris Hemsworth
up in there.
And Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who just seems to be everywhere now, because that's a name you don't forget.
No, like simplify your name when you're gonna become an actor. Yahya, just call yourself Yahya. That's all you need, just Yahya.
Yeah, like Madonna, like everyone knows who you're talking about.
Yeah, Yahya.
Or maybe just drop the second off the end.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So, and George Miller's coming back.
Is this what you want though? Like, you watched a good Mad Max movie.
Yep.
And you enjoyed the performance of Furiosa.
Yep.
So some executive says, let's give people more, but let's use a different actress.
Well, they want to tell an early story, innit? Free themselves up. Maybe give her 2 arms before she lost it. Maybe tell how she lost her arm as well. Have that in there.
You could do that with like Charlize Theron.
It's like, how long's it been since the last one? Years ago. I know she hasn't really aged. I'm not going to say she looks old or anything.
Probably been about, 4 years?
No, it's well, maybe. I think a bit more.
Hold on, let's have a look.
It's always longer than you expect.
Fury Road came out in... Why does it even come up here? Why are these all TV episodes and shorts? Is it actually called Fury Road?
Mad Max isn't Fury Road, yeah.
Let's put it that. Mad Max Fury Road. 2015, so 5 years.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I guess they think they got legs. I guess you got to remember the studios always look at it from the perspective of if this does well, we can have more sequels. And you want
to. We can do it cheaper. We don't have to pay like Charlize like.
But you always think about years ahead. You have to think about that spread of years, and when you start, you don't want to start with someone in their 40s.
Oh crikey, she's born in 75.
Yeah, you can't start with someone who's.
So that'd be like she'd be in her mid 40s now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, right? That first film was like I didn't expect it to be a great film. I was very pleasantly surprised. It really took me by storm. I think it took everyone by storm.
What gets me excited is that Miller's coming back, so it's gonna be authentic. Mad Max style.
So for this film to be good, does it need to also have like an arduous, torturous, just a mess of a filming schedule as well, like the original?
They got to learn from that, man. You have to learn from the fuck up.
Because if I remember correctly, they didn't even have a finished script when they started. They just were filming stuff.
Yeah.
It was just a complete disaster. Charlize Theron and what's his name just hated each other. Tom Hardy.
Remember, they were stuck in like the South African desert. So I don't blame them for not getting on, because it must have just been miserable, stuck in those cars in that weather. In the desert, just burning.
Prima donnas.
Cooking in those cars. Oh,
I'll bet you Helmsworth doesn't act like that on set.
Probably not. Yeah, this could be cool. I'm into it.
Yeah. Cool. And so I should have actually put this right after the Ridley Scott one, right? So Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins
I thought you're skipping.
I know. I'll go back to that in a minute. I just realised that. So I was going to try and do it smoothly and whatever, but now.
Okay. Smooth track.
So Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot are reteaming. Obviously, those guys together are the dream team behind Wonder Woman. They are also doing a historical epic, Cleopatra.
Yeah, bit of controversy already.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends on, well, either way you look at it, regardless of what you think Cleopatra was ethnically, she wasn't Israeli. Does that matter? Probably not. In general, just play whatever. But yeah.
No one could tell me though what Cleopatra actually was.
Well, the history is that after Alexander the Great died, because he conquered Egypt during his old massacre across the world, when he died, his empire was chopped up into little pieces, and his generals took over different regions. And one of his generals, Ptolemy, took over Egypt, and it was held within his family for literally until Cleopatra. She was the last of the Ptolemy clan. So technically, given that they were all inbreeding, so technically she should be Greek.
And you know what?
People dispute that, but
Gal Gadot actually looks like so Mediterranean exotic that she could easily pass as Greek.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. People dispute that, but that's the general historical.
So I do like a really good, like, historical, not an accurate historical film, like those, like the Ridley Scott type Gladiator type films, right? Or the Ten Commandments. Those like big budget.
Ridley Scott's God and Monsters, which whitewashed all of.
You know what? I did not mind that film. I think at some point you got to draw a line, right? You can't, like, you are talking about like Cleopatra, who has always been depicted on film as being like European, kind of Western looking type person.
Yeah, because they make it for a European audience. So you make it for the audience you want to watch.
So the only thing that Gal Gadot's really got going for her is, like, Cleopatra was supposed to be mythically like one of the most beautiful women to have ever lived, right? Whether that's true or not, I have no idea. Gal Gadot certainly got the looks. I am kind of worried though that she doesn't really have like the acting chops of, say, like,
definitely not
Angelina Jolie would have, like, in this type of role.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, you gotta get dramatic. With this story.
There's no action to rely on here, right? This is like it's going to be like a character piece.
Yeah, but she's got the whole Mark Antony, Romans when they came, and Caesar kills her brother, who's also her husband. Oh, God.
So apparently there was quite a big bidding war for this. So Paramount ended up with it, but like Apple, Netflix, all the big players were like after this one.
What the fuck are Paramount going to do with this? There are not going to be no cinemas for him to put it out on.
That's another matter, right? I guess these guys, they need to keep planning for what they do next, right? If you stop doing that roadmap, then essentially, like, you're dead in the water.
And you're saying that Villeneuve.
Yeah, I wanted to put this in there. Yeah. So Denis Villeneuve has also actually got a Cleo movie. Well, I'll say in the works. It's what he wanted to do once Dune was finished.
But is that just the first Dune, or was it the second Dune as well?
Well, like most of these guys, they do a movie, they take a break, and then they go do the sequel, right? I don't think he was going to go straight into that. Plus, you don't know whether there's going to be a second Dune or not, right? Because there's a good chance this might not. There's that whole thing. But does the idea of a Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins Cleopatra excite you?
Villeneuve Cleopatra excites me way more. I think he's a way better filmmaker, way more stylized. I just like the way he tells stories. Yeah, that's the one I want to see.
You probably won't see it now, right? Because, like, if Paramount are making like a $200 million Cleopatra film, no other studio is going to want to go near this, right? Why would you want to compete? Yeah, that's going to be the problem now.
Even though historically, to some reason, a lot of times, double of the same movie have been made at the same time.
Oh yeah, it has happened. But I think in this case, it's going to be like, we're in a completely different industry now.
Unless he can get it made first. Never know.
Very unlikely, I'd imagine. But sticking with Paramount for the moment, I know we haven't even seen a trailer of this yet, right? So I do wonder what the hell's going on here. But Coming to America 2 has been sold by Paramount to Amazon for about, from my understanding, for about $115 million.
Damn, quite a bit.
So I don't know whether that's just like the screening of like the streaming and first run, and whether they'll then release like a Blu-ray or whatever, like on home video, or whether they just have it now.
Yeah, either they don't have the faith in it to do well, either they saw it and it wasn't that great and figured this probably be better on.
So there is that. Then I guess there is a whole. There are no theaters to put a film in.
Yeah, but then sit on it.
Yeah. Well, it kind of depends, right? I'm not entirely sure that like Coming to America, it was ever going to be like a $300 million movie, right? In the kind of the box office. I don't know what the budget for this film is. It's a comedy. I guess the most expensive part is probably Eddie Murphy. The rest of it should have been fairly cheap to do. I do have the fear of what you've just said, that it's probably not a good film, because that first film is such a classic, and I don't think after all these years you'd be able to replicate that magic.
Too long.
Having said that, Eddie Murphy did do a film last year, the Dolomite film, and that was a really good film.
Yeah.
So he's still got the acting chops. He can still do classic Eddie Murphy.
Was the script good? Is it directed good? Like all the other elements, man. Like, is it a good story? Does it need to be told?
So we haven't seen a trailer, and this is coming out apparently in December. And from what I understand, the story is supposed to be that Akeem finds out that he's got a son or something like in America, and you kind of think, well, how did that happen? Like, he came to America, found his queen, and went home. How can he have a child that he doesn't know about?
Oh, maybe she left him. Maybe he didn't stay with him and went back to America.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. And I hope we don't get some young actor that just does an Eddie Murphy impression, because that's going to be so annoying, man.
Would you like Eddie Murphy to play his son as well?
Wouldn't be surprised.
Because he's already going to be playing like the Barbers are going to come back.
Yeah.
Like Sexual Chocolate's going to have to come back.
All of it. Yeah, what if the Jericho guy's going to come back as well?
Apparently, he's not in it.
Oh, that's a shame.
Apparently, he is not in it. Right. So, and lastly, from like just the main news, Disney. We know this is going to happen. We know this is going to happen with all the other studios, right? Basically, say they are changing their primary focus for entertaining, and it's now going to become streaming is like their platform of choice. I think they've got to say that because there are no theaters to open movies in.
They can't open their parks. Like, they're just losing money everywhere else, and all they got is streaming right now.
Streaming. Like, if people were saying years ago, like, if Netflix ran into trouble, they got nothing to sell off. Like, in this world, the less you've got to sell off, the better off you are at the moment.
True. I'm surprised though Disney isn't in like the gaming world, because considering how much money that is worth now, that in fact it makes more money than movies and game and music.
They own a publishing company. They are in that business. They just
what have they?
It's very. I mean, they even license out, like, even though they have their own publishing arm, or they bought LucasArts as well, out of that big. But they license like the Star Wars thing out to like EA Sports or EA Sports to Electronic Arts.
Do like the Kingdom Hearts stuff they license out, but still, you think there'd be way bigger presence.
Again, gaming is like a very, very sort of like difficult industry as well. It's like you could just as easily lose money as you could make money. Like those games, they basically as expensive as films.
Yeah, exactly. But if anyone should be doing it, rather than some other little company that come along and do these things, which many do.
But they're having this whole massive restructuring inside. And if you kind of start thinking about it, right? So your Avengers type movie will probably always require a cinema release, right? But you could have, like, say, I don't know, Ant-Man 3 could be like a Disney Plus film. Yeah,
well, it'd be a shame, but it could be.
It'd be a shame, but it's like, if you look at box office take, like the Ant-Man films haven't been huge, right? They are good films. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're just turd rubbish and don't deserve it, but I think now you've got to kind of like, you are going to get direct to streaming type films, and they're going to be looking at like, and they're not going to be those cheap, nasty ones. You know, like how in the beginning of the 2000s, they used to have that straight to DVD type thing.
Yeah, the kids movies. But there is a whole thing of the shareholders at Disney. They've been pushing for Black Widow just to go straight on Disney Plus.
Or have they?
Yeah.
Are they pushing for that? But like,
shareholders
surely the shareholders should know that they won't make the same kind of money.
Yeah.
And in fact, so next month, I think it's like early November, they've actually got like their quarterly sales thing that they do with all the investors. So they basically say for the last quarter, this is how much money we made in all of these things. So we're going to find out about Mulan.
Yes. That'll be the thing once you know what that did.
Yeah. And Disney already know that, right? So essentially, if that was successful, they would be doing it again. Oh, and obviously we haven't really spoke about it, but there's that new film they've got coming, Onward. That's going straight to streaming. It's not even a VOD. It's going straight to like Disney Plus. Christmas Day.
It's been around since like March though, from when it came out in the States. So many people to bootleg that by now. I don't know how well that's going to do.
Has it actually come out though?
It came out in America in March.
Oh, sorry, not Onwards. What am I talking about? Not Onwards. What's the new one?
Soul. Soul.
Yeah. Soul. Yeah. Sorry, not Onwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see Soul as one of their bigger ones.
No, but it's not even a VOD release. It's going straight to Disney Plus, like as in it's being your subscription. Yeah,
there's a few. I think the Artemis Fowl was another one that was going to be a big cinema release, and they just threw that on the.
But apparently the reviews for that were not high. They were not good.
Ruined the book. Apparently the book is amazing that people loved, and they just bastardize it again. Take the source material that people love and completely disregard it. Why? Crazy, but weird. Disney, whole new chapter for them now.
Right, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Superhero news.
But one last thing though, if they really want to compete in streaming, then they have to have, which I heard they were considering, they have to have that mature level, that parental thing. That it can't just be PG. They can't compete with Netflix. And
there is absolutely that. To get people like me to subscribe and become a monthly subscriber, they absolutely have to. I still don't have a Disney Plus subscription. I suspect I'll probably have to have one shortly for Mandalorian and WandaVision. What they actually need is fucking content, right? You've been a subscriber since the launch.
There is quite a bit to watch, man. It's not like
no, but is there new stuff?
Yeah, they do keep updating.
What new stuff?
You're surprised. I haven't checked on it in the last 2 weeks, but they do keep putting stuff on. You are surprised
but like the Mandalorian's been like their big thing, and that was last year.
Oh, you mean new stuff?
Yeah, actual new stuff, right? That stuff that gets you excited to like pay for a subscription,
AAA stuff,
Which really surprises me because they've been talking about this for years for Disney Plus, right? It's not like suddenly it was just an idea they had and it launched. It was like 2-3 years we've been hearing about this and no one was getting content ready.
Yeah, you'd expect, innit? Just spend all that time, spend $1 billion just shooting.
Start getting that stuff done. Start getting deals done. I know they've got lots of stuff in the pipeline. Apparently, the Ewan McGregor, the Obi-Wan show is supposed to start filming in March.
Yeah.
It's got stuff coming. Right. So, superhero news. So, something broke this week, a rumor, which got me so excited for like the Spider-Man movie. So, we spoke about this last week, but there was a rumor doing the rounds this week that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were also going to appear in this film.
Yeah, but keep going.
But Sony have since apparently done an interview and actually said that this has not yet been confirmed.
Yeah, they put out a statement, but it was like a weird statement. It wasn't no, this is not true statement. It was like this kind of
hasn't been. So it's like hasn't been confirmed. Does that mean they're negotiating? Does that mean it's actually happening behind the scenes?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
It wasn't like no, this is not happening. It's total just like we don't comment on rumors. Just like this is not confirmed.
Yeah, definitely.
How excited would you be to see those two in that film?
All three Spider-Men of the last 20 years, all on screen together. That would be very cool, and that would get people excited as well.
That would be pant-wetting stuff, really, wouldn't it? That's just like I couldn't imagine if someone had said to me at some point, you will see the three big screen Spider-Men on film together.
Yeah. How? And I'm surprised.
Multiverse.
Yeah, obviously. But at the time, you'd be like, how was that going to work? But I'm surprised that Disney didn't negotiate their ability to share streaming rights with Sony for this. Because when you go through the Marvel tab on Disney Plus, the one thing that's a little annoying is that everything's there in order. It displays except Spider-Man. And you just think, why would you not think?
So some of the other films apparently have disappeared as well. Like they were there and now they've gone already. Like to other streaming services. Go and have a look at it. Go, because I was reading about this on Reddit. Like some of them have now gone.
You're gonna have to look for names for that because I haven't noticed any of that yet.
Yeah, it's like they'll basically essentially go and come because I think they've signed deals with other streaming services for up to the next 10 years or something.
Okay, I have to look into that one.
Yeah. But I hug all my like Marvel Cinematic Universe physical steel books.
But I think the last time I went through the tab is like when I watched Black Panther after what's his face died, after Boseman died, and everything was there then.
Apparently, they've rearranged the way the Marvel films are now organized on Disney Plus. They've now actually made it like that chronological, not chronological, as in like the order you should be watching it.
Yeah, of the year that the story takes place, rather than the release of the film. Yeah, so no, because originally it had it in order of when they were released in the cinemas.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be.
No, but they've changed it to when the year of the story takes place. Like Captain Marvel takes place in the 90s.
Yeah.
So they've moved that nearer to the front.
Would you actually want to watch it in that order?
Yeah, because that's how the story really does play out, technically. So you got Captain America, the first one, and then...
No, but I was going to say Captain America should be like right up there. So what I've just done is I've just now put all my Marvel films like on my Plex server. So I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe I should do a rewatch.
They're fun. It's fun to do, man. It is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time you did a full rewatch?
Oh, a full rewatch.
Maybe we should be at some point, not now. Maybe at some point we should be doing like a one movie a week type thing and doing a look back because it's going to be bloody ages till we get a new Marvel film.
It is. So maybe we should do that. Definitely. Yeah. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is going to end up like the what was the animated Spider-Man movie that was come out a couple of years ago? Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
And the real exciting thing about that was obviously all those various different multiverses colliding.
Yeah. So I wonder if they're ever even going to refer to that because I know they wanted to get Tom Holland into that, but they never. So I don't know. It'd be cool if they do have some sort of reference with that as well. It'd be very cool.
Have like an animated Spider-Man running around as well. And lastly, this is like a really odd one. So a couple of weeks ago, news broke that Tatiana Maslany had been cast as a She-Hulk. Apparently, she gave an interview this week saying, this is absolutely not true. I don't know how this has happened. I haven't been cast and I'm not in the show.
Yeah, that's for real. That's a bummer. That's a big bummer because I like her as an actress and it would have been cool.
Do you think this is like a fake out? Do you think like she just basically doesn't know what to say, so she's just saying no?
Possible, but man, I don't know. Usually they don't blatantly just say no, it's not true. Usually this.
Yeah, but is she worried like if I basically just deny it, they won't ask me more questions? Like if I say yes, then I might slip and say something I shouldn't.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, because you know what like Tom Holland, what he's like.
Yeah. This is a little cliff note. I'm looking up the whole Disney Plus thing, and so far the stuff that they have been moving off, it's just the classic Disney stuff. It's not like none of the Marvel stuff seems to have gone anywhere. It's things like Pirates of the Caribbean, Doctor Dolittle, and this is just from the American one so far. Home Alone, like the sort of general Disney licenses. So
why? Oh, well, there's an article right here from August of this year. 3 Marvel Cinematic movies aren't available to stream. I imagine those are the Spider-Man ones. And what's the third one then?
Look them up.
Ant-Man and the Wasp apparently is on Netflix in the US.
So where are they then?
No idea. But like I said, I've got all of them on this, so no fear. That's just it's a really odd thing, right? You would have thought if it wasn't true, it would have come out pretty quickly after it was announced. It has been a couple of weeks for this news to filter out.
It has been. I'm hoping that it isn't true and that she's going to be, because I like her as an actress, like I said.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Bit of a weird one.
Doesn't really make sense to be so secretive. Like, just announce it. We know the show's happening, so whatever.
You never know what the clauses Disney have in their contracts that if you leak information that you shouldn't be. And I guess actually, what I've noticed from the CBS Star Trek lot is, and maybe Disney need to start doing this, maybe they all need to start doing this, is they are now staging, or staggering rather, news. Because obviously we're in this cycle where a lot of stuff isn't really happening. And CBS obviously have done so well that every month or so they've got something new to announce, even though they agreed it like a year ago. So the thing that they did with Kate Mulgrew was agreed a year ago, but they've only just announced it. So they're still having like new news dropping like every single month.
That's good. Then they got a cap on it. They haven't got people in there leaking out information, because that would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah. So I guess everyone else is in the same boat now, right? And that way you keep the hype going. It's not like, right, we've got 6 months and we haven't announced anything new.
Who owns the rights to Stargate again?
MGM.
Oh, MGM. What the fuck are they doing, man?
They basically trying to stay alive.
Yeah, but you got yourself a franchise if you put money, real money into that. Oh, yeah.
Do you know how, but they are like, they basically are so broke that they're going to get bought, right? And get this, the James Bond film, so they own the rights to James Bond. But when they come out, so some of the films are now coming out on 4K, they are so broke, they can't do it themselves. They have to license it out. Like, I think they're doing it this time with Sony. I think they used to do it through Fox.
How does that mismanagement happen? MGM is one of the biggest in Hollywood.
They even sold off like some of their catalog as well, apparently, like years ago. It's unbelievable.
From the golden age, they should have a pot of money that rivals Disney, but they just...
It's unbelievable. But like all the fans of Stargate are absolutely like that. You've got this franchise. If you can't afford to do it yourself, get Netflix, get Amazon. There is a fear that Apple will buy them, right? Because Apple basically looking for content. And if you've got a studio that's desperate to stay afloat, the shareholders will easily agree that. And Apple have got the cash in hand.
I think it would be a fit as well, to be honest. If it went,
it will be a shame if any of these movie studios get bought up by a service that's exclusive.
And even just to license out their stuff, like again, I was talking about games. Like, where are the AAA James Bond games? Like, what happened? Those used to be massive, and now there hasn't been one for like a decade. Like, whoa, what the fuck?
Mismanagement.
What are they doing?
This is basically, they should put us in charge of the studio. Isn't it? I'll just start up a whole Stargate division.
Yeah. Have there ever been Stargate games?
I'm sure there probably has been. Probably nothing high profile, nothing that I can, maybe like a PC one or something. Why? But it just goes to show you, like, CBS have literally taken like their biggest property and turned it into a full streaming service.
Yeah.
And they are now obviously building momentum around other shows on that service. It's like there is no vision at MGM. Do you remember, like a couple of years ago, they tried to do a Stargate thing, and they did the most ridiculous,
the cheapest
horrible thing.
God,
they started up a Stargate only streaming service. Like basically, you pay, I don't know how many ever dollars it was, and you could watch Stargate. And it was a really shitty app, right, to begin with. There's no Chromecast. You couldn't watch it on the TV.
Wow.
And they've now shut that whole thing down.
Yeah, I noticed on Amazon there was a little add-on for MGM. I was looking through it, and it's just like, you guys, who is subscribing to this? Yeah. It's just like Rocky films and Stargate and just a few golden oldies. It's like,
they've got a huge back catalogue. Yeah. Do you want a gaming topic? I've got a very, very interesting one for you.
Shit.
Right. So, I actually thought that after this current generation, Microsoft are just in games to be in games, and their heart wasn't really in it. And at some point they would bow out. But this latest move tells me they are fucking here to try and become king again. Right. So they have just cut a deal with GameStop in the US. Right. That basically, if someone buys a console from GameStop, and then they buy digital games at home, so obviously they've got one console that's digital only. GameStop, for the life of that person buying games, if they buy digital games, will get a cut of that game.
That's amazing.
That is not only is that amazing. So do you imagine now when you walk into a GameStop, right? Those employees will be told front and center, you basically say Xbox is better than PlayStation.
Yeah.
You give it prominent space in your shop.
It's paying your bills.
It is, yeah. Like someone buys that, we get a cut for the life of that console.
That's crazy. Like the one in Croydon, I think, shut down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think in the UK, I think they are done and dusted now, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that was the last
There used
one.
to be, there used to be in a few places. I remember they used to share space with Blockbuster.
Yeah. It's that's crazy. They don't have to do that, but yeah, this does. You're right. It does make GameStop want to push the Xbox a lot more and put the games more visible. Consoles. Oops.
I wonder if they'll start doing that across the globe. With like, if they come to the UK, will they do that with Game? Because basically, as much as like we hate to think it, it's that sort of like October through December where most games and consoles are sold, right? And basically consoles are still bought by parents walking into a game shop, wanting the latest thing for like their young child, right? Most young children don't have the ability to put down 300 quid.
It was that way, but now it's just all on Amazon because that's the only way you can fucking buy anything now.
It is. I think people are still going into shops. Like if you go walk around a shopping center, you'll be surprised at how busy they are. And people still buy that way, especially like for games console. Like even when the Switch came out, I put a pre-order in at Games so I could walk in and walk out with it. Absolutely unprecedented. This is going to be a real interesting battle this generation.
That's smart. So you got games from PlayStation against all the various little deals that Microsoft got going. Like what can win out?
Yeah.
Because I was looking at the lineup for the launch games on Xbox, and it's about like 2 or 3.
Launch lineup on consoles isn't really great historically.
Yeah, but PlayStation, they got some games, man. Even the remasters are worth curiously wanting to go back and check out if you're into those type of games. But
have you got pre-order in then for a
Nah, I'm gonna wait till spring. I'm not gonna rush. I'm gonna get my laptop first. Wait, when's Black Friday coming up? Or Cyber Monday?
Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving, isn't it? So normally that's the last Thursday, I think, is it, of November?
And is it the following Monday? That's Cyber Monday.
Yeah, so you got you got Black Friday and then Cyber Monday. I'm assuming Black Friday will now also be Cyber Friday.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you buy anything on Prime Day? It was rubbish this year.
Yeah, there were nothing. I just bought like essentials, just little bits and bobs for the house.
I had all these things like in my list, basically, so I could quickly flick through it, and none of those box sets were reduced. Even things that I bought, like the Harmony remote or the Shield, which every single Prime Day are reduced full price.
Yeah, it's pointless this year.
I think the only thing I got was American Gangster on 4K because I think that was reduced. Cool.
And considering how much more money and more successful Amazon has become during this whole pandemic, you'd think that they could afford to be like, yeah, come on, man. Well,
they're the only game in town now, right? It's like if you want to do online shopping, where do you do it other than Amazon, right? You got your supermarkets for like your food stuff, but I'm actually thinking like there isn't really. I know most places
eBay.
have
eBay.
Yeah, I only do like specific things there though.
And Alibaba. Which is
do Alibaba operate in the UK?
Yeah, AliExpress. I bought every phone I've had for the last 6, and my tablets, everything comes from Alibaba.
Right. So
I nearly bought a laptop with the specs that I want for under $1,000.
So basically, your phones, your laptops, everything is coming pre-installed with like Chinese government official software, right?
It didn't matter anymore, but now I'm bothered about it.
What was the laptop?
It was Xiaomi, but it had the graphic, it had the memory, it had the graphics card I want.
What graphics card?
All the power that I wanted.
What graphics card are you after?
It's all numbers. I can't remember.
Is it the 2060?
I think it was 70.
I don't think there's a 2070 for laptops, is there?
Oh, yeah.
There's a 2060. That's definitely doing the rounds at the moment.
It's the Nvidia.
Because I was thinking of getting the 2060. But ended up going with the 1660 instead. And I gotta say, man, I was running like some PS2 emulators the other day. Even managed to whack it up to do like 1080p graphics and everything. Look really swift and played really nicely.
Yep, Nvidia RTX 2070.
Those are 2070 ITO.
Gaming laptops. But yeah, he's had it all under $1,000. I had to just be like, no, I want it, but I can't. I don't trust you, motherfuckers. I can't do it.
So are you worried that they've put like the spyware or malware directly in the firmware and not just on the in the operating system, which you could wipe and reinstall. Because apparently that was a thing that was happening, right? Even we say this about China, we joke about China, but there was a thing that I think the Snowden stuff revealed about the States, where they were actually intercepting like laptops, like Dell and Lenovo laptops. Basically, they would send them to like an undisclosed location, open up the laptop, put the spyware directly onto like the motherboard and stuff, seal them all up like brand new, ship them on.
It's crazy, so fucked up. You can't trust anyone.
No.
Like, what's the point? Like, what is so fucked? So fucked. I hate it. I wish I knew that level of knowledge of like computers where I could just buy something, strip it apart, inspect everything, run code and all of the memories just to see if there's anything in there and know what I'm looking at. And but I don't know enough.
There are probably tools that could do that for you.
But then you don't trust that the tools themselves aren't fucking compromised, that you're downloading.
Well, like open source tools will be fine, right? Because essentially, the thing with open source is like if things are altered, you've essentially got the entire community to say that's tainted. Yeah,
it's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a while. I'll wait till Cyber Black Friday. Get something. So, Mo, anything else?
That's it. We are done and dusted.
All right, guys. If you listen to the audio of this, please go to all the platforms for podcasts, Apple, Google, wherever you listen to this, Amazon.
We're pretty much everywhere now.
Everywhere. Give us 5 stars, give us a review, thumbs up, wherever it is. Show us some love. And go to the YouTube, Voltron Network, 2 separate words. Subscribe, like. Show some love, guys. We need it. So, from me, Idris.
And me, Mo.
See you guys next week.
See you, folks.
Later.